lot of pretty girlfriends in Germany.
Oh, man, really
and in
nice.
Liverpool.
A lot of sweater meat?
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, let's be quite honest. You look at the guys, 18-year-olds in Germany, okay, middle of Sin City, St. Pauli, hardest, vice centre of the world.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
We get there, we take the German audience by storm. Girls were falling over themselves to go to bed with us. We're not going to refuse that, are we?
Yeah, I guess you can't.
Oh, man, I wish I had
No, but healthy appetites like we had. We're going to enjoy it.
Really? Would you have, like, let's say 2, 3 girls a night back in those days?
And the rest.
Oh, my goodness. And the rest.
And the rest?
That means more than 3 girls.
Whoa.
Let me just say something. I don't know. Pete, I don't know what kind of drummer you are, but let me tell you something, man. In terms of sexual prowess, you're an animal. Now, I was just listening to this album back there, Pete, and I hear you playing the drums. You play damn much better than Ringo. It had to be because you didn't give Brian Epstein any sex. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
man.
we've looked at the evidence.
We heard the record. It's just as good as Ringo, if not better.
Let people make their own decision. Drumming-wise, I've said I'm better than him, okay.
Here, let me hear. Just for people who are just tuning in. And we've got 1 million+ listeners.
Well, Ringo also was the Beatle who got the least respect.
Yeah?
Yes,
Right.
absolutely. Nobody liked Ringo.
I think Ringo made a pact with the devil. That's how he got to...
Whenever we traded Beatle cards, you could give Ringo away for nothing.
Yeah.
You couldn't trade anything for Ringo.
Ringo was the worst Beatle.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, as regards the guy who took over my particular role in life, I mean...
You might as well agree with
He
him.
owes me one for that.
Yeah.
But,
Hey, wait, listen. Sounds fine to me.
Yeah.
it's good tracks. It's good drumming.
When I see you every day, I say,
Sounds like the Beatles to me.
Yeah. Sounds like good Beatles music to me.
Yeah.
Hey, so did any of the other Beatle wives try to hit on you because you were the best-looking Beatle?
No.
No? Too bad.
You guys didn't share and stuff like that?
Still got the...
You didn't get any of the Beatle money?
Oh, are you kidding?
Nothing.
I haven't seen
No.
nothing of it.
Haven't seen a
Nothing
penny.
at all whatsoever.
Oh, man.
And they never gave you like a job in the organization? They never offered you anything like that?
Nope.
Huh.
Nothing at all.
Now, when people see an interview and stuff, do they give you a hard time about all this? Like, oh, man, I can't believe it. You...
No, I mean, okay. I mean, if people are prepared to sort of listen to me talking about it, I'm prepared to be open, quite candid and honest with them. If I can give the answers, and the stuff they want to hear, I'll do it. But I won't sort of, if I haven't got the answer, or I don't know the answer, I'll just turn around and tell them.
Well, I
Straight
guess
to the
what
point.
everybody wants to know, well, how did you feel when, the thing happened to John? I mean, it still must have affected you.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are saying...
Wait a second. Let me stop this for a second.
What?
Never bring up John's death. Just try to say John is out of the country.
People want to know.
I don't want to depress
this,
people.
Howard.
It's afternoon.
People want to know.
Really?
Yeah, they want to know.
I said just John retired. How did you feel when John retired and we haven't heard from him in a couple of years?
It upset me.
It did.
Because what a lot of people turn around and forget is that even though it was 20 years afterwards, okay, and I hadn't seen the guy, I'd known that guy and I'd been through Hamburg with him in Liverpool, knew him even before I became a Beatle. And he was, as far as I was concerned, one hell of a person. Okay.
Even though he didn't even say anything to you after the Beatles threw you out.
No, you've got to take that in, take the rough with the smooth. Okay, I mean, I remember...
No, you're being
what
too
he
nice a
done.
guy here, Pete. Let me tell you something.
No, I can understand that.
Yeah?
Yeah. You still have those feelings. There were good times.
There were good times.
Yeah.
It's no good counting the guys, as you'd turn around and say, retired, no longer here.
Yeah, I just think, Yoko getting all of John's money, he could have left you something as well or something.
Yeah. Well,
it would have been a nice consideration.
It sure would have been.
Yeah.
I don't think he remembered his kids, Howard. He had a very bad memory.
Yeah, I don't even think Julian even got any money, to be honest with you, Pete, so don't feel too bad.
There's a guy who's going to mature into a good musician.
Yeah.
He's a good musician now, but I think he's going to mature and a lot more.
Yeah, he's not a bad dude.
Yeah.
But, so let's get back to how you met the Beatles. I mean, how did you get into the group in the first place? You and John were just friends?
What had happened was, my mother had a club called the Casbah back home in Liverpool, which is in the basement of a house. And the group which should have opened it, called Les Stewart Quartet, had 2 guys in the band called George Harrison and Ken Brown. The group broke up a couple of days before the club was due to open, and George Harrison came down with Ken Brown, and he turned around and said, the original group's broken up, but I just happen to know 2 guys who happen to be John Lennon, Paul McCartney. And he said, I'll ask them to see whether they're interested in opening the club. They came down, great, we'd love to open it. My mother asked them, what are you going to play as? And they turned on and came up with the name The Quarrymen. And they had a regular spot with Ken Brown at the club, and they played there for quite some time. No drummer, just 4 guitar lineup doing harmonies, Carl Perkins music, all standards. Then they left, auditioned for Larry Parnes, went back to sing a called Johnny Gentle on a tour of Scotland. Right. And they had a drummer originally then called Tommy Moore. The tour wasn't a raving success, and when they came back, Tommy Moore was he'd had enough.
Right.
And he went back to being a forklift truck driver in Liverpool. And
He's probably kicking himself in
Not
the
a
head.
smart move.
well, he's around, I should imagine that as he turns around and says, it's water under the bridge, it's
Right.
straight, okay, on that particular
It's a
side.
good attitude, a lot better than I have. I would have been, if it was me who was in the Beatles, and then Brian Epstein told me to get out, I'd be like walking around, hanging out at the Beatles door every day, saying, "You guys better give me some more money."
Yeah. I think we're bad attitude people.
Yeah, but we have a real bad attitude. You have a much mellower. You seem much mellower than we are.
Well, the thing is, okay, after the dismissal, as I mentioned before, a lot of upset. I cried my eyes out. There was no kidding about that, because they were on the way to,
The top.
stardom.
Right.
I don't think even they themselves recognized how far they were going to go.
Right.
But we had an inner belief that we were going to go places.
Right.
And that upset me. And for, quite some time afterwards, it gave me a lot of heartache.
Yeah.
Well, were you
Nice.
close as a group? I mean,
Did you guys hang out and stuff? Did you live together? Were you guys close?
You got to take into consideration. Originally there were 5 of us. We had Stu with us.
Right.
Then Stu left the band, and then tragically died.
Yeah.
This is another story. But that left 4 of us.
Stu was the guy who was with the band. He died because outside a club, some punks beat him up or something, and then he got like a brain.
Well, the story goes, John and I pitched in on that particular night and helped out on it.
Right.
Okay. No one can actually turn around and say it was the beating he took,
Yeah.
but it could have started something off, As it so happened, he did die tragically of a brain hemorrhage.
Right.
But going back to the original point, we spent 2 years of our lives together in Hamburg, living out of one another's pockets, sharing the same girlfriends, doing the same things.
That's pretty close.
That's more than
almost
close.
family.
Passing them around. So there was a blend there, there was a unity.
Yeah.
And I think it was that camaraderie which was split up when the actual split came.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, because you notice that the Beatles aren't close even now. You don't see Paul, Ringo, and George hanging out. They hardly ever see
Yeah,
each
but
other.
initially they were a unit.
Yeah.
I can't sort of speak for them what's happened afterwards. They've all sort of gone their own different ways. But
Yeah.
initially it was a specific unit.
I can't believe those guys don't even get in touch with you. So let's get back to the good old days. So you would have did you ever have 2 lesbians in the room with you and just you?
No, don't touch lesbians.
Oh, you wouldn't?
No.
Or 2 girls at the same time with just you in the room?
Sure.
Or you and John with 2 girls?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Let's be honest about it. There's times when, because we were in, different accommodation, if you can put it that way. We were in the back of the Bambikino, which wasn't a 4-star hotel, put it that way.
And all the girls would pile in, and you, John, and George and Paul would, just take all the girls at the same time. Oh, my God. Oh, man.
You never got embarrassed?
All right, listen, let me ask you this. In the shower, who was the biggest Beatle? Come on. Who was the biggest man? Be honest. No one's ever asked you that before.
I think we most probably all were equally well endowed.
Oh, really? No, come on. You're being much too...
No.
Because I seen a picture of
we were
John.
healthy young men.
I saw a picture of John naked. He was pretty well endowed. It wasn't that big. It wasn't as big as, let's say, like Jimi Hendrix. But certainly...
It's the purpose.
I would say that John, in a flaccid state, was 4 inches at least.
Yeah.
So Pete, you're saying that you, John, Paul, and George were all the same size. Fascinating.
Not to a millimeter. Let's not put it that way. But we were close.
Were you maybe the biggest Beatle?
Height-wise, yeah.
Now, wait a minute. Who had the most sexual prowess?
Who could have the most women at one time?
I would say that averaged out over the course of the night. I'd put my hand up.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh, man. I can't believe that. Oh, my God.